This is a shout out to all my enemies.
Yeah, I confess, Father, I confess, 'cause I've been living wrong.
What's going on, carnalitos? So yeah, man, I want to send a special shout out to all my enemies from the 90s, homie. And I'm just going to try to name them off the top of my head. NHLS, homie, No Hollywood Locals. What's up, carnalitos? Northside 18th Street. Northside MS. Shit, we even have beef with the homies from Logan Heights over here on Bonner. Alley Locals. Boys from the Hood. Running Locas. There were some crazy broads at a couple drive-bys in my hood. Violent Boys out of Sun Valley, of course. Diablos in Sun Valley. Orcas even. I don't think we really beefed with Orcas, but hey, homie, I'm sure we had some fucking few scraps here and there. And those are the major hoods out here that we banged against in the 90s. And I'm not saying those are the only hoods. There was many more. You had Van Nuys, Paca, Sanford, Conoga Park, Blythe Street, and it just keeps going on and on. But the ones that are named were mostly the ones that were here in the city. And I would say each neighborhood, probably the smallest neighborhood of all those, maybe had about 50 guys in it. The rest of those neighborhoods had, up to 100, 200 guys in it easily, man. So the Valle in the 90s was a very dangerous place. And as far as gang was going, man, it was cracking. It was somewhere where nowadays when you drive around in the valley, you see a bunch of like homeless people, tweakers. I'm not saying that's what replaced the gang members, but as you drive by and you see all those people, that's what you used to see as far as gang members went. Different cities you went to, different parts of the town, those were borders. Those were borderlines that you would not cross. And I myself wouldn't cross. There's certain parties I would not go to. But now, as a 44-year-old man that has kids, has grandkids, I can tell you, homie, that I respect all those neighborhoods, man. I don't sit here and disrespect them. Fuck. I forgot a couple. Burbank and Urifa, Sunny Boy, Burbank 13, man. And not because me and Sonny get along so well, I guess I forgot we were enemies back in the 90s. Dispensa, Sonny. Anyways, yeah, those neighborhoods, I have zero animosity towards them, carnal. It's quite the opposite. It's kind of like when they were asking, or not they, I was actually speaking with Jimmy, the Vietnam vet, and he spoke about the Vietnamese people, and he spoke very highly of them. And I do the same way about enemies of mine, man. Back in those days, like I said, there was gang members everywhere, bro. Everywhere. You went to every city, you went to every town, especially out here in the Valle. There was gangs everywhere, homie, and we were fucking shooting each other. We were killing each other. We were literally at war. It wasn't not was it figuratively or literally? Literally at war. We were out here fighting, man. We were out here, had blocks, had cities, and we were actually killing one another, man. We were killing one another for the neighborhood. But now, like I said, as a grown man, as a guy who's been through a lot of gang shit and still sees it every day, brother, I can honestly say, dude, I have zero animosity to all those neighborhoods. And to me, salute to all those barrios, homie. You know, we all have dead homies. We all had homies in prison doing fucking stretches. We all have homies still in that struggle, stuck in that crazy fucking cycle, brother. But one thing I can tell you about every single one of those gang members, whether they're my enemies, or they're my homies, or they're somebody else's enemies, we all want the same thing, man. We all really want the same thing in life. We want to be able to work, provide for our family, put a roof over our head, live somewhat comfortably. That's pretty much what we want. That's the American dream, man. And as a small 14-year-old guy, I can still remember, and I was thinking about this today, I can still remember my cuñado Rat. He's got about 8 to 10 years on me. He's an OG from my neighborhood. He's one of the founders from my neighborhood. I used to be on Tierra Street as a 14-year-old kid, and I used to see him come down the street in his little fucking Suzuki bumping, but he was coming up from Holly. He came out with the boots, with the jeans on. He was all laced up with his fucking suspenders. He's a welder. And I used to, for a minute as a 14-year-old kid, like, damn, homie, that's what I want to do. That's the life I want. I want to like be an OG homie in the hood, living there, living that dream. Kind of like how it happened, but it's just, the way it happened with me was a tough road, brother. It was a very tough road that most people just don't come out of. Plain and simple. Most people end up in the joint doing all kind of time. Most people end up getting killed, end up in chairs, end up fucking having bad habits. It's a rough life. And the big trend now, which is great out here, especially in LA, man, the trend is peace, man. The trend is talking to one another. Today I was on YouTube and I was watching it wasn't quite an interview. It was more like a report or something. He was talking to some guys. Alonzo from Street TV. He was in South Central with a bunch of Bloods and Crips, man, and they were talking about peace. They were talking about all these OGs are getting together over there. I think it's like United We Stand or something like that. That's the name of their coalition. And they're making it happen, brother. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, wait a minute, carnal. We're supposed to be so organized. We're supposed to be so fucking raza, so united, brown pride. Why can't we do that, brother? And that's why I was kind of, what's the word? Inspired to make this video and to shout out all my enemies, homie. Because in reality, we're not enemies, carnal. We're brothers at arms. We're people at war that fucking that fought, and now it's gone in the future for so many years. And now we need to learn from that and move forward and know what it takes to become that man, to become that responsible person, and show these young guys in the neighborhood, man. We as older guys need to step up and show these young guys how we do it. We can't just sit there, especially if we're still living in our hood. We can't just sit there and look at them and think of them as less than us or dumber than us or these fucking dummies, because that was us before. That was me. I know that for a fact. I don't sit here and ever fake the funk about that. That was me. And that still can be me, man. I'm one mistake, and that's one thing that a lot of people forget, and even regular people in America. We are all one mistake for being that guy in prison, for being that guy in jail. You're one DUI from going to prison. Look at all these millionaires, movie stars that are now going to, I mean, they're not doing that much time, but the ones that got caught up in that UCLA, USC, actually all kind of college scandal, they're going to prison, man. They're going to these people are going to sit there and to them, going to jail is the worst thing in the world, brother. They could pay fines up to millions and millions of dollars. It wouldn't hurt them as much. These guys are literally going to go to jail and say, take your pants off, take your clothes off, bend over, show me your asshole. To these women, they're going to tell them, pull it forward, split it, let me see it. Open it up. Could you imagine somebody who's come from wealth, has never been in that lifestyle? But like I said, we're all one bad decision from being in that same spot, brother. And that's what I'm trying to prevent, man. I'm trying to show you guys this is what we can do. This is what we can be. That's why I'm showing you like the stuff that I'm showing you with other Latinos, man. There's so much stuff nowadays that all we are is gang members. All we are is dope dealers. All we are is illegal people crossing. And fuck no, I mean, we're so much more than that. Now we're huge, man. We've got doctors. We've got lawyers. We got plumbers. We got engineers, we got architects, we got rappers, we got singers, man. We've got so much more. But what we don't have is we don't have each other's backs, homie. We really don't have each other's backs. We need to sit there and start supporting one another. Well, and whatever we do, we need to stop hating on one another, support one another, and man, you'll see us just fucking rise up as gente, man. And when it comes to gangs, yeah, we need to step back from that and look at the mistakes we're making, brother. Young guys will sit there and say, fuck no, this is my barrio, whoa, 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 this vato don't know what he's talking about. Only reason you're saying that, homie, is because you're scared. It's because you're scared of what somebody else might think about you. Damn, this vato getting soft, this vato punk. But way back in the back of the head, everybody's thinking the same thing, dude. Why are we doing this, carnal? Straight up, why are we doing this? And we're doing it because we don't know any better, homie. But now we fucking do it. And that's why me personally, I can go to any neighborhood that I just fucking named, homie. I can go to any neighborhood I just named. And I'm not talking like going there like I'm banging. Nah, brother. But I can go to the store over there. I can stop at the liquor store over there. I can go to the gas station over there. Back in the days, fuck no. And if I'm going over, I'm going strapped and I'm doing one of these movies. Nowadays, I can go just about any neighborhood in the VISE, homie. And I ain't tripping. Why? Because I'm not pushing that line. I'm pushing positivity. I'm pushing the truth. I'm pushing love one another, homie. And I'm not talking about in a hippie fucking way. I'm talking about in a fucking real fucking human being kind of way, brother. Because if we just keep acting like animals, keep acting like savages, they're going to keep putting us in those cages, homie. They're going to keep putting us in those cages. And I understand what people sit there and want to do. They want to sit here and like reform how prisons work. And I was having this conversation with three of my homies today. They're younger guys. They're in their, well, late 20s, early 30s, right? And I was saying, with all this stuff that's going on in prison and people not getting along, there's no way you can set up like welder shops or fucking, or cabinetry or all this stuff, because guys are shanking each other. Guys are going to lock up all the time. It kills the process of being able to go forward. But that's in jail, and that's fucked up that they got to go through that. But for the people who are out here and have the advantage to go to school, to learn a trade, to do something, brother, take advantage of that, man. Don't forget when you were in that cell like this, man. That's what a lot of people forget, man. They forget those quiet days in that fucking cell, and you're just sitting there looking up. You're hearing keys go by. You're hearing toilets flush. You're hearing a cough in the distance, but at the end of it, it's quiet as fuck. And you're thinking, what the fuck am I doing in here, man? What the fuck am I doing here? Now imagine you being a guy who's been down for 10, 20 years and has got another 20 to go, brother. Could you imagine you being that guy right now? What would you say to yourself if you were in that cell? You would say, if they ever let me the fuck out of here, I'm never coming back. Don't sit here and not take advantage of what you got out here, brother. Porque lo que va a pasar, un día vas a estar viejito como yo. And that's what happens, man. Life passes you by, you become old, and you fucking die. So while we're here, we need to sit here and take advantage of what we've got. While we're here, we need to sit there and teach the youth the mistake that we made so they don't make the same mistakes, brother. We need to progress as people, as raza, man. We need to sit there and start doing our thing, carnalillos. So to sum it all up, homie, like I said, to me, it's all love, homie. To the rest of the vayeros that I didn't shout out, come on, homie, you already know what it is. It's one love, carnal. Other than that, I'm going to start getting a little handball tournament going on here probably like in about 3 weeks to a month. You guys hit me up on my email and we can get some shit cracking, man. Other than that, you guys have a great fucking weekend. I'll catch you guys later, man. Bye.
Yeah, I confess, Father, I confess, 'cause I've been living wrong.